You know, the good thing is like
And welcome to another exciting adventure on Riding Through the Unknown. I'm your host, Michael, and tonight's show is a rather unique show, and I have been so excited to have it on because I not only have a returning guest who I'm always excited to have on, but I have a new guest coming on, and she has such phenomenal energy and such phenomenal information. I met her kind of indirectly at the Full Disclosure Now conference in 2025, and she had amazing questions. And so I am so excited to have her on the show and Christy back on. So I am going to stop rambling and singing your guys' praises and let you guys introduce yourselves. And so I'm going to start with the one, the only experience extraordinaire, Patti Paparazzi.
Hey, Patti.
it's a beautiful day, right? How's everyone? Good to see
Good.
everyone.
It is, and welcome to the show.
Yeah, how's the summer going for everyone? Good.
Hot.
Enjoying the sun and
Yeah.
all these solar flares and the light codes coming in, and we're all getting DNA activations and
Yep.
expanding our
That's true.
consciousness.
Yes.
Oh,
I
yes.
know.
Having fun, like just learning, and learn and helping others, guiding others, and just shining our light. Learning as much as we can in these times while we're all here. Listening, helping others. We're the bridge. We're the bridge.
We are, and I just want to ask, if you could share a little bit about you and what you've been into for the past few years to our
Okay.
audience.
All right. Well, so I'm from the South Philadelphia, South New Jersey area, and I lived up in New York for like 6 years, where I was doing a lot of grid work. I didn't know this at the time, that I was a high frequency being, because I've been lied to all my life from going to 12 years at Catholic school. Not that it's bad, because all is God and all is good, and we're all here to learn, but we had been blinded. The veil was over our head, and I started to question everything. And then I had a near-death experience where I left my body. And we were kind of taught that this is just the only place there is, and then you die, and then who knows what happens. But actually, when I left my body, I saw my pain body lying there, and I was in the light, just like, wow, this is beautiful. But I already knew I had a mission here, and I came back into my body, and that I had to heal myself. And the more that I learned that I had trauma, and within my DNA, which we never learned, that we hold imprints and ancestral lineages. And, I lost my mother at a young age and nothing made sense. And I just was questioning everything. And then I came along Psionics science and the Cathara grid, which is the study of sound and light manifested. And then I realized we are all part of that light. And we're all here having an experience, and we are all want to be good, but we are in a fallen world where we're witnessing some evil things and some, crazy people on TV, telling us to do this and do that. And I thought, wait, God made me perfect the way I am. Why do I have to do this and that? And why is everybody getting sick? And there's fear mongering everywhere I was looking. So I started to get into the Psionics science here with Ashiana Dean. This is her book. This is the study of light and sound and all the stuff within it that taught me about our DNA and how the more knowledge and information that we learn, we're expanding our consciousness, which is connected to our DNA, which is information, which is light. And that's what these solar flares are. They're bringing this light into our light body. So I learned about light body, our multidimensional way of being, which is Psionics science. So all this stuff was overwhelming. Then I learned words are electrical. So, we're getting electrical. We're electrical beings. Even if you have a heart attack, they use that electrical pulsing to bring you back. It's like we were never taught any of this. So it was just from there it was a go. I was like, I got to learn. I want to know. And the more I know, the higher I was expanding in frequency, which is light. So it's all science. And we aren't taught this in school, not in Catholic school, not in public school, no school that I know of anyway. So it's, the science of creation and consciousness itself, which is what we are. And we're light manifested into a physical body. So a lot of this is overwhelming. You have to breathe, go outside and ground, get the sunlight, exercise, move energy. And this is what I've been doing since 2019, when I started to learn this new information and realize that no one knows this information. So how can we share this information with the world as well as, guide them? And, we're different. We're way showers. We're star beings. Our DNA, we all have different DNA. We're different races, different bloodlines. And so everyone has different experiences and we're all coming together. We're all spread out far and few all across the entire planet. And we're all have a part to the puzzle that we're all bringing to help guide and shine our light on this darkness that is all around. The fear mongering TV, the NAA, negative agenda, which is, trapping some of the consciousness of humanity. And it's all through knowledge, the lack of the knowledge of who you are, this light being connected to the source, which is God, which is everything all around us. So it's a lot of information. And, it's go ahead. Over to you, Christy.
Yeah. So, Michael, do you want to respond to anything with that?
I do, but before that, I do want to acknowledge the amazing person who is with Patti and a dear friend and someone that I talk to and trust and connect with and has helped me along the way, and that is Christy Campbell.
Thank you, Michael, for having us on. I appreciate you asking us and together so we can share our messages and everything too. And we kind of are a balance with each other too. She goes with with her learning and everything. She's with the Psionics, and with mine it kind of went into the dark, so we kind of meet each other and help each other understand about the differences with that too. So that's really good. I've learned a lot from Patti, and she's making all the books and stuff too, writing about her information and story. So we've been helping each other with that and doing conferences. We did the Guardians conference, and then we're going on the Chaco Canyon tour together with the Journey to Truth in September. So we're just kind of starting to do more things. And I was at the conference too with both of y'all, but Patti and I didn't meet there at the 2025.
Like sliding doors. We were like,
Yeah.
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 That's
Yeah, I don't
because
know
as
how
I
that
would that's because as I would describe Patti as she was bouncing from speaker to speaker to
Yeah.
room, bouncing back and forth, and she would
Mm-hmm.
be like
doing
there for the
cartwheels.
Q&A, and then she'd be off and running to the next. And I was
Yeah.
like, man, but I was like, there were a couple times I was going to ask her something, and I turned around, and I'm like, where did she go? I didn't even hear her get up. She's like a
Mm.
little ninja sometimes.
A ninja. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Mhm.
No, I know. I afterwards. That's when we met. After the conference and everything, because we both
Yeah.
do a lot of the artwork with the ETs and everything too, and interested in making books. So we're kind of starting to do that right after the conference too, and came together. And so we just decided to write books together and separately, and then hey, let's go to the Rise of the Guardians, and we set up a booth and everything there too. So that was the first time meeting at the Rise of the Guardians in May. So yeah, it was fun being there at the and sightseeing and everything too, and then at the conference meeting and seeing everybody there too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and your
Yeah.
guys' pictures were amazing. I was like, man, I couldn't be there, but I
Yeah,
felt
our
like I was
table.
there through the table and
Yeah,
through
we did good.
Patty sharing her photos of the adventures that you guys were going on while there, and I was
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
it allowed me to feel like, hey, energetically, I'm there. I can feel being a part of it, and so that was really cool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I want to, talk about the book, some, but let's save that to the end,
Okay.
Yeah.
and let's, I can feel Patty is like getting so excited and wanting to dive into this topic, and
Yeah.
so
She's a good teacher. She just loves to teach about the colonics
and
and yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Well, there's.
I
Mhm.
want and I want to offer you the opportunity to not only delve into the colonics but the grid as well, because that's one of the
Yeah.
few grids that I'm not really familiar with. And so when I heard it, I was like, wait, I want to know a little bit more about this. So I am going to give you the floor, Patty, to share what you know with us.
Well, when you talk about the grid, this is where it starts. It's the scalar waves of light, which is the fabrics of reality, and that's what forms the grid itself, which is all patterns, sacred geometry, which is all God. Down stepping into creation and manifesting into the physical. But you got the liquid light, which is the angelics, the angels of light, which are plasma beings all around us, all around everywhere, because everything is alive. The earth itself is a grid with Cathara points and vortexes, stargates, meridian lines, as well as we are that exact reflection, or say micro, macro, the same as, but in different form. There's all kinds of different forms. Plants, everything has that grid within themselves, which is the light, and it's also patterns and key line codes and your DNA. So when we anchor into the earth and we go outside to the grounding with our bare feet and the sun, we're actually bringing in those codes. We're anchoring in frequency, and this is science that we never been taught. So that's what's amazing about all of this. Because we are a part of everything. we are a reflection of the earth. We are the earth. We are the universe experiencing itself. It's like the ocean is everything, which is us, and then we are also the drop within the ocean. So it's a little bit of just experiencing everything in this dimension where it's singularity, but we're connected to the whole source, which is God, which is the grid, which I don't even have the paperwork, but we don't need paperwork. So, that's what we're doing. A lot of star beings who have more DNA, maybe they have more knowledge, more activation. They have more of an opportunity to learn this stuff before I did, maybe 10 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. And they've been doing grid work and working on the earth and going to the stargates and activating them because they've been dormant for so long. Mother Earth has been dormant, just meaning we've been experiencing, duality or just like singularity. And now we're going into experience everything and realize everything is alive. And we're all here, connecting and finding each other so that we can expand our knowledge to others so that we can continue to rise in frequency, which is rising the earth and the sunlight, the light codes and all that's coming in is the scalar waves of light. And that's what Christy does a lot with her light language. And when I met her, she taught me, because when I had a near-death experience, I could feel the energy of the mantis beings around me, whispering and guiding me, mostly to my art room, because God is imagination and creation. So creativity is a very major thing. When you are in your creative mind, you're in your quantum, you're in your all-knowing, your awareness, you're allowing yourself to be natural. But you want to release any of the negative things that are holding you back or the false beliefs, like lies that, this new information will help people to find their true identity, their true creativity, spiritual gifts are activating. That's why we're writing a lot of books. We're going back to drawing. But the matrix itself, which is the TV, the propaganda, the fear, all that is blocking the flow of the God source, eternal light coming through us to use our imagination, to use our gifts, to be that change in the world that we want to see so that we can show others and lead and guide. And especially our children, because they are all stuck on this thing here and they're wondering, oh, am I good enough? And they've been taught that they're not good enough, and then they want to get more likes, and then they go get Botox, which is loaded with so we use cilantro and certain things to detox our bodies because our bodies have been polluted. Lots of things are chemically polluted so in this world, so we want to detox and cleanse our mind, our body, our spirit. We're purifying. The earth is purifying. There's a great purging going on from karma. This even ties into past lives, and we're doing healing generational curses, like my mother who passed away from drinking. Then I was drinking and I stopped drinking, and 5 days later, that's when I had a near-death experience and left my body. So that was kind of like my wake-up call. And I learned that we have higher guides, angels, the Holy Spirit within us. If we listen quietly, we can have meditation, which is important, and not that 9 to 5 hustle, bustle, run. Oh my God, I got to pay the bills. I got to do this. I got to do that. So there's so much to all of this. As we become more aware of what we're doing here and why we're even here having an earthly experience, to bring back the to heaven on earth for our children, for ourselves, for the future, because the earth, we don't want to see any more pollution. We don't want to see animals being harmed. And so it's just so much. It's so extensive. So we're all doing little parts to the bigger puzzle.
Yeah, and that's amazing. And I actually have a question about past lives for both of you, and it's something that I've recently heard, and it somewhat resonates with me, but then somewhat a kind of question, and that is our past lives are just ourselves in a different timeline or a different paradigm, and so
Yeah.
they're not really the past life, they're here and now,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
it's not us, it's another version of us. And
Mhm.
so I'm
Mhm.
curious your
Yep.
guys' thoughts on, are past lives really the past, or are they the present
Okay,
aspects
I'll
of
start here.
ourselves?
In the quantum, everything is simultaneously happening right now all at once. And that's what all this light in different patterns are in different so they're not, it's not really no such thing as time. We're just all these different simultaneous past lives, future lives, all those like say go back to Egypt or go back to Stone Age or whatever. It's a part of us because we're like a soul that's many 144 incarnates of ourself experiencing many different uh lifetimes, and so you can tap into those when you go into a meditation. I've gone back to Egypt and I've seen the tomb of Osiris with the flower of life in there. That's where it was first originally found, in the tomb of Osiris. And I've we've lived many different like my father, I say he's King Tut. So from these past lives or future lives, all these lives that that are happening right now all at once, we have those imprinted in our DNA. So we're healing. Like sometimes you might have control factors. You want to control everything, or you've been shamed, or murdered in another timeline, another life, whether it's the past or, because the future's not even made. It's still being made. There's no set stone yet. These timelines are all because we are creators, but we lost the knowledge. So in these other lives, that were reset, where the knowledge, like the library of there's different libraries that have been burned and information was destroyed because of fallen consciousness or fallen entities or negative aliens, stuff like that. They don't want us to know who we truly are, because once we do, they won't be able to steal our money, suck our energy, keep us in a state of like sleepwalkers, I call it. We were all sleepwalkers because we weren't taught the truth when we came in, when we were born. So now we're learning the truth so that we can be the change we want to see for the new earth and the heaven on earth. Living off the land is a big thing. You notice, like, they took God out of the school. They took God out of school. They took natural ways of healing, which is also scalar waves of light frequency. They use that against us instead, but you can use that to heal DNA, frequency music. They took away all the farmers, if you notice, the farms, and then just so that they can control the population through the food. They control the food. As you can see, everything is so much money. And how did they get all this power? Because of our lack of knowledge, lack of knowing who we are. Because once we know who we are, they can't lose and steal our energy any longer. So that's what we're working on. And that's already here now. There's pockets of new earth. There's already, all of us, we are on the new earth. It's just, if you start to fall into that negative form of thought, it's a thought form, then you'll start manifesting, corruption, more corruption, because you actually you manifest what you entertain. So whatever you're giving your energy to, that's what is coming into, that's what your reality is going to be. So unfortunately, some people, like, there could be clones or soulless people that they just follow that program. Oh, I gotta turn on the news. Oh my gosh, they said put a mask on and stand 6 feet. Oh my gosh, I gotta do it. So we're waking up to that. We're like, oh wow, we've really been like had that blanket over us. So now we're peeling the layers off. We're peeling the lack of knowledge, and we're restoring the knowledge. We're restoring our DNA. We're healing ourselves. We're healing the earth. And this is the wonderful, most greatest time to be alive. And all of our ancestors are here watching us. And if you rise in frequency, like I could be out walking through nature, because that's the highest frequency that tunes you in to the spirits. The spirits, you can feel them, hear them, all that. And even though we were taught not to do that, and we were said, you're crazy, and they throw you in the loony bin. And it's good that you have people like my father. He knows all this, so he doesn't think I'm crazy. I can talk about this. He could get on right now and be like, yeah, I can't believe they did that. When's the EBS, so that they can wake everybody up, so everyone can know the truth. Well, we are the truth. We're here. We're doing it now. We're on YouTube. We're speaking our truth. That's how we wake everyone up, because the AI is the TV. It is the computer. It is, what we're up against. It's God's natural way of living, organic knowing of who you are, that you are a spark of infinite consciousness, creation itself, and that you are not needing to follow this navigator telling you what to do. You already know within your own beautiful, sacred technology within yourself, and it's all there. So you just have to master that energy and bring that back in, and you will start to manifest it from within to out. So it's a lot of information. It's a lot of studying, but there's a lot of distraction out there. There's a lot of, this and that. And just, you just got to stay focused. That's why I've learned to just go into my quiet place, go out in the nature, ground, go swimming in the water. The water is a big conductor. Next thing I know, the sun and I are having a conversation in my mind. It's almost like when you talk to yourself, you're actually talking to the universe, and the universe is talking back, even though you might think it's yourself. And you also could hear negative energies coming in telling you, oh, I'm not good enough. You're not good enough. And then you think that's yourself, but actually that's just negative forces. So you want to always stay protected, stay on top of cleaning your energy, your field, making sure that you're telling yourself, I am enough. I'm powerful. I'm love. I am an infinite spark of God creation. I'm here to be the change. And it's all about the words, because it's words manifested, sound and light manifested into this physical experience, which is us. And we're coming together to be that bridge and to shine light on the darkness, so that we can all rise in frequency together and create the new earth for the future of our children, ultimately, because you don't want to live in the mindset of doom and gloom. You don't want to say, oh, there's no hope, because then you're manifesting no hope for it. We want to live in, like, God as a child, become innocent, bring that inner child back. I can do this, I can do that. No one's going to tell me no. You are the creator. You have the imagination of God within you. And that's what it is. We're little God sparks, little God beings here to bring the light to the world and shine. What do you think?
No, I agree. And
dancing through the energy. Yep. It's a tough place, but we've been really blindsided, but we're all coming together, and that's what makes us stronger. Like Christy with her artwork, I have so much of her artwork. It's amazing. Every day I look at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is that? And it's like, people are afraid of that because people have been lied to all their life. These are, just little children are drawing these, because up till you're 7 years old, you're completely innocent. You have everything you need within you before the programming comes, before the programming. But we've been lied to, and everyone's been, so they have fear within them, and it's also implanted in your DNA. So you have to clear that out. You don't want to, you want to reprogram your mind, reprogram and rewire everything. So the light codes and colors, this is all the art of Christy. She has the books too, all the books and everything. So
I noticed a lot of people, they draw, like when they're little, you color you have your coloring books and people color the beings like blue or green, and then they're told, you don't color them that, like, why are you coloring them blue for? They're not blue, nobody's blue, but that's probably a memory from another time of them being blue or something like that too. So I think it's a
Right.
lot of conditioning and fear that's always pressed on the kids from the mother and father's beliefs, and so they kind of are open up in younger years, and then they just get shut down or told to be quiet for saying that kind of stuff, because it's embarrassing to them, or they question about going to church or anything like that too. I know I did, growing up and stuff, and was told just to go outside and play, and I mean, even one time I had broken my arm at the playground, and I came back in, and because I fell on my elbow, and I was telling my dad, and he said, your elbow isn't broken, it's just dismissing the kids a lot in the 80s. We just grew up kind of Gen X as like some tough kids,
Yeah.
we had to really just suck it up and deal with it and go outside and play and be, not crybabies or anything like that. And so
Yeah.
me and Patty are both the same age, born in 76. So, we both had the same, and you too, Michael, but you're born in what year? I
Se-
forgot.
78. So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
right
So right
behind you.
there. Yeah. So we're all the same like that with our parents, how they are the baby boomers, and they just lots of fear passed down from them, and they just watch the news, and that's kind of all that they really they believed the news until later. Now they don't anymore. They've woken up, and I think that we with our light and with our kids' light too. Um, they've changed a lot. They don't really entertain the preachers. You know how the preachers on TV and stuff, the evangelists, and now they're finding out that they were just satanic, really, and stealing people's money and
Yeah.
programmed. So it's all turning around, and it shocks them that they can't believe it that they watched it and stuff. And back then we were the ones trying to question it. We were like, why are you doing this? Why do you believe this? Why are we sinners? We're questioning it then, but they were too programmed to understand. They were locked in their beliefs. But that's just part of that generation, their baby boomer generation. They just have so much fear, yeah, from their
Yeah.
parents and
And
everything.
I was kind of blessed because my parents, especially my mom, it was funny because when we would go to like the church, I would be awake for everything, but as soon as the dogmatic sermon came on, I was
Fall asleep.
asleep.
Yeah, I
And
know.
they were like, my mom was like, we couldn't even shake you awake.
Yeah, you
But the
just fall asleep.
second he was done, I would
You
be
wake
wide
up
awake and
ready
continuing
to
where I
go.
left off.
Yeah,
And
ready to
and
go to Sunday school just to get out of there, to go play or do something else. I just didn't like church at all. I didn't like it. I didn't like any
yeah,
part of it.
but
Even
my
Sunday school, I didn't like it.
yeah, and so my mom like looked at my dad and was like, he's sleeping through this part. What are we going there for? And I started questioning a lot of aspects of the church, and they were like, they would just look at me as, a little kid in elementary school going, where are you getting this information? Where are you getting these ideas? Because they were right,
Mhm.
but it wasn't the everyday knowledge. Like, I would say, it's kind of weird how the Catholics want you to be cannibals. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, when you go to communion, you're eating the body of Christ. That's a cannibal. When you
Mhm.
drink the wine, it's his blood. That's a cannibal. I'm like, how is this not a cannibalistic thing? And they're like, well, no,
They
it's not. It's a
Yep.
whole. And I'm like,
They can't
yeah, it
explain it.
is.
Mhm. Yeah, they can't explain it. Yeah, that's
But
locked in their beliefs. Anything you challenge, then they just don't they just kind of glitch out, just shut up and go outside, like
Well,
that's what they
actually,
do.
my mom would be like, she would sit there and like hold her breath for a second, and she'd be like, you're right. Yeah. And so it's like we
That's good.
kind of played off each other, and we're like, yeah. So I never went through communion with the church. I was given the option not to. And it's just kind of interesting how going through life, we have these little nuances that we don't really pay attention to, but have major impacts in our lives. Like, not going through communion, and, not going to church every week.
Yeah.
Do I feel like I'm missing anything? No, I actually feel a closer connection to the higher source. And I'm like, yeah, my higher source is my heart. I don't need, and I'll tell people this. They're like, well, don't you need to go to church so you can connect to God? And I'm like,
Mm-mm.
my God is in my heart. And I don't need to go into a church to access my heart. And so, if you feel you need to, that's fine for you, but I don't. And so I won't. And I could even get started on the idols. That's, you're not supposed to worship idols, but yet everybody does by worshiping these celebrities. And it's the mind game, because they don't call them idols, and they don't say you're worshiping this person. They're like, no, I'm not. But then when you point out the action, they're like, oh, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
And so we're going off on kind of a tangent, and I'm kind of curious to hear more about Patti, you and your work. And so before you get started, though, Jay Skyrunner is letting you know he made it.
Hey, Jay. Thank you
Hey.
all for being here tonight with us.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
and if you have
Thank
any
you.
questions, you can write them in the chat too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, how did you get started on this path, Patti, and have this awareness come to you, and have the aha moment of, this is what I need to do, this is where I need to focus?
Well, I had a lot of deaths, family member deaths. And because of being different, I would suppress what my feelings, like mostly from drinking. But so when I did have contact, like my cousin, I had a walk-in. He actually, the night he passed away, he actually came through me, and then was, I could feel him, and there was no one I could tell, and if I did, they'd say, oh, you're drunk and you're on drugs, and that's the programming. That's what kept us all quiet and shut us up. And then I just kept getting shut up. I had so many experiences all my life, so the fact that we now can speak about it, and we can come out of our shell, and we can talk, and then we can also explore. We can explore other realms, and other races, like a lot of the mantis beings that guided me to the art room, and they guide me in nature, and then just connecting into all that is, but learning the science itself, the Keylonic science, and is what really will help you to be able to connect to these higher dimensional frequencies. When I'll hear my mother speaking with me softly, or even the fact that we're in this beautiful realm, and I feel like, a red robin will fly in, and I'll just feel the energy of my mother, who passed away at a young age when I was around 23 or something. So lots of things happen in your life that will wake you up, but we're such in a dense area, like I'm
Yes.
in a very heavy, dense area. So there's a lot of people that have just negative energies, and I'm constantly clearing, and there's just so much that comes with all this that I don't even know where to focus on, because I'm like I say, I'm like, the jack of all trades, but the master of none, because there's so much, and I just want to do everything. I want to learn everything. I want to understand everything. So I just keep writing and drawing and teaching, and then channeling your higher self. You want to tap into your higher self, because you have angels that are also you in the higher realms. They're all around us, and you can feel them, but you have to clear your body. You have to clear the negative energies. You have to really purify and go out to nature, because of the density of this realm, this beautiful earthly realm. And so that's what we're doing. We're cleansing out these negative energies. We're transmuting, and we're transcending, so that we can see through the veil, and get through the lies that we've been taught all of our life, and speak our truth without being shut down and called crazy, and being able to live in your highest, your authenticity. That's the highest frequency you can be in, is truth, knowing the truth of who you are, that you are the creator. It starts in your mind, and then it manifests out, and that there's so much more to this world. And like, even when I had a near-death experience, my spirit just left out of this physical vessel, which is your sacred vessel. But it's also like the body's the beast and the mind of God. So you want to tap into the mind and the heart connected. All is one. Everything is connected, because we're all cells, part of a bigger body of God. So you want to speak to yourself. Tell yourself and your cells that you love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, then you're in judgment. And judge is a low frequency. Now you're going to fall back down. Now you're going to be like, oh, things aren't working out for me, or I'm not, manifesting what I would like. That's because you want to help others. That's the highest frequency, helping others, living in your truth, living in the awareness, and just keep on. Every day is a new day. Just to the minute you get your head off the pillow, you have everything you need already. You already are complete. God made you perfect just the way you are, and nature is the cure. So electrical foods, I got a garden. I always am eating my electrical herbs. That's where the sun has 98 benefits, essential benefits. Sea salt, the Celtic salt from the sea, drinking electrical water that raises everything. It's like a science, and we are the sacred technology. So we want to treat our body vessel as such, so that we can continue to rise. Because I fell in the consciousness traps, but everything is a lesson. So you're learning. Everybody you're learning through everyone, actually, and your energy is the most precious. So when someone triggers you, it's not them, it's you, actually. Because if their energy is affecting you, then that's a part of you that's unhealed. So you want to, of course, they might have unhealed parts too. And you'll be like, okay, I'll send you unconditional love, and I'll wrap you in, God's source energy and light, and then go, and then, guide them, but don't take on their energy, because you could also bring their karma on into your life. Because where your attention goes, that's where the energy will flow. So you want to continue to stay in the high frequency of truth and unconditional love. Gratitude will get you out of that slumber. If you're feeling negative, you might be picking up other negative energy. So you want to clear your field I use a lot of sage. I have my own sage that I grow, and then I wrap it in dragon's blood. And each one is its own frequency. So with the sage, I say, thank you, sage, for clearing my mind. After because I'm a hairstylist, so I get to heal and help others with their hair, and children and women and men, constantly. If they want to speak about spirituality and spirit, then I will guide them. Otherwise, I'm just helping them feel better about themselves. But I also could take on their anxieties. All of a sudden, my mind's racing, and I'm having crazy thoughts. And I'm like, well, none of this is mine. So my sage will clear my mind. And dragon's blood, that helps to protect my energy field, because other people's energy can also latch onto you. You can have an attachment. So you're constantly want to let go of any attachments or any cords, cut the cords. You don't want to give your power away. You already are enough. Sometimes I'm always looking for somebody to team up with. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm giving my power away. Because everything will come to you as long as you remain in your highest frequency. Like Christy and I, we meet everything, nothing is a coincidence. And everybody, like this is, everything happens for a reason. We're here to help others. So people here, they're probably here, they want to learn more, or they're questioning their reality. And that's through the artwork like Christy does. That was helping me realize I can stand in my power and my truth now. I can just shine my light and not live in fear of judgment, because everybody's going to judge you, because this realm is a dense realm where people will judge you instantly. I can even hear them. Like I can hear because when you tune in to other people's frequencies, you can hear their higher selves, their God self. You can hear their lower selves, like where they're judging you, but really it's not their fault. They just been lied to and they're programmed, and they need to clear those beliefs out. They need to know that they are in control of their own energy. And I also use frankincense and myrrh. That helps me to clear my mind, but keep the positive thoughts flowing. Keep your intuition and your instincts and your intellect, because that's really what we are going back to, our natural ability within ourselves to guide ourselves through this. Because there's going to be some turbulence, like when they did COVID, that was a wake up call for everyone, and grandmom knows all the answers. Grandmom has all the answers. So they threw grandmom in the nursing home and said, you can't be with your grandmom. And then everyone's like, you're going to kill my grandmom. So it's almost like contagious energy. So we don't want to see that again. We want to say, hey, we don't need to even watch TV. We don't need we can go outside and we can receive all the answers. Like, I don't even worry if it's going to rain or whatever. I never have a problem with anything, because I know it's always going to work out, and you have to live in that knowing. That's the best thing.
Yes, and you raised an interesting question, and I'm going to direct it towards Christy because of the nature of the question, and that is, when we get, caught up in stuff, we easily will dismiss, outside people saying stuff to us and critiquing us. We're like, yeah, that's your opinion, and we can reflect it off. But when we critique ourselves and put ourselves down, are we in a way enabling a handler program in handling ourselves, because we put ourselves down by critiquing ourselves harder than anybody else, and at times get stuck in that?
I think it's like thought forms that we pick up on, that get into our energy field, that kind of like stick to us like the goo stuff, and then all of a sudden, like at the grocery store, you're thinking, you go in a happy mood, and you come out and you're irritated. So you've picked up something there on someone's energy, and so it's constantly needing to clear your energy to fill yourself with source light and protection, and clean your energy field. Like, it's every day, and then when you wake up to, after whenever you wake up, whatever time that is, and then we dream of stuff that's kind of that shows us maybe someone we know, but and it's trying to steal maybe our energy too. It's nothing. If something in our dream time is coming at us, like with a sexual dream, or feeding us something, or in a way, it doesn't always feel right to me. So I've been burning contracts. As soon as I wake up, I say I burn all contracts that were made in my dream time, and then I just send it to source, and send anyone who is masking themselves, or trying to tricksters, or any demonic beings that are in my energy field or dream time. Then I just send it all to source as well. So I've been doing that. And then any negative thought form that's stuck to me, because I wasn't thinking that before. So I don't really think it's like a handler. I mean, unless you live with your handler that's always telling you stuff, you know, like if you have a handler that's your husband or wife or mother, father, anything like that. Handler can be anybody that's telling you kind of what to do, and you're keeping you in a low vibration state by, you know, constantly nagging you or saying stuff like that. Then that could be a handler. But it's up to you to stand up for yourself and not put up with that anymore, and realize that you know you don't need to listen to that, that you are worthy, you know. So you just need to work on your self-esteem and self-worth too, because you've always been put down if that's your mother or father or husband or wife or something like that, you know. So yeah, it's constantly needing to clear your energy field and pick out any beliefs that are negative, any thought forms that come up, and just kind of you can burn it up, like if it's like a glob of stuff, just throwing it on the table there, and see that it's not you. It came in your field, so you need to get rid of it. You can burn it and just send it to source. And I've like picked like the implant, like I had like an implant thing, and I picked it out, pulled it out, and then and I just smashed it like that, and I just send everything to source so it can be purified and taken care of that way. So yeah, I've been doing that a lot lately, and and I just been going over like past relationships and any kind of interaction, or if there's some kind of a negative experience with someone, you know, like how they make me feel or whatever. Like it's a, you know, how we get the intuition tells us, oh, like something's not right, you know. So usually I don't feed into that, because it's just gonna is something that they just want you to feed into as well, so they can take our energy in that way. So there's lots of things that I'm becoming more aware of too. At first, when you know, a lot of people get online and stuff, and then maybe some are a little bit naive at first, and they uh, talk to everybody or respond to everybody, but not everybody is a real person. You know, they're just there to, maybe it's a computer program running or something, or a troll or whatever, just trying to take your energy. So you just kind of have to navigate it, you know, in that way too.
Yeah, thank
Use
you.
your discernment, like your discernment is use that for sure, and how you feel, how that comment or so makes you feel as well.
Yeah, thank you. And one thing I want to mention to you, Patty, you know, talking about being the hairstylist, I think back to the story of Samson with Samson and Delilah, where his connection to God was his hair. And he put all his knowledge in the hair and was like, when it got cut, he was like, "Why did you forsake me? Why did you do this?" And it's like God would never respond. And I view it as because you forsook, not God did. And so I think it's really cool how, you know, you look at it as like helping people while doing the hair, and how
Yeah.
the hair seems to be a connection for
Yep.
people to the divine.
Yeah. Hair holds a lot of energy too. Everything holds energy, but especially the hair, and it's a very big healing. Plus it's an antenna, you know. And
Mhm.
one of the books that I'm writing now is all about your superhuman, angelic, divine self aligning to your highest frequency, so you can master these superhuman abilities. And the number one ability is feeling. So you, like Christy was saying, she can feel if it's negative, then you know, and you will be able to feel negative before it even walks in the room. That's how powerful we are. So we're going back to this. We already were this and are this. It's just we forgot. So we're reclaiming that and remembering who we are as God beings, that it all starts in the mind and senses of feeling. So when you're feeling negative, you might have to clear it, or someone might have some negative energy. So A lot of times when people come to me, they already feel good because they're like, oh, she's going to fix my hair and make me look good. And they feel good, for the most part. But then they might start talking, negative, and then they want me to help clear them. So I'll help clear out their fields. A lot of times I'm doing that. Even wherever I go, I'm clearing the fields. A lot of times I drive through Camden, Atlantic City, South Philly, and I was in New York where Jersey City was, and I was doing grid work there, but I did it on my feet. I was walking through Jersey City where the gangs are, and they're like, it was me and my 2 children, and they're like, oh, you white people should probably get out of here. This is the black area, and this guy was murdered right here. And from that window, he got shot right here where you're standing, and I'm laughing, but not really. But I'm like, I'm not afraid. I'm just walking through in the middle of the daylight. I don't think I'm going to get murdered. I'm not afraid of, black areas. I don't have fear. I don't judge people. I never did. It's just natural for me to be, la, 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 la. People are like, how come you let that go right off your shoulder? Because why hold on to anything negative? Why? It's just going to drain your energy. Just be happy and fun. So that whole area I was clearing out, and it's just simply by transmuting, taking that negative energy. Wow, like a Jedi master, you're like, woo, priestess, and you just want to take that negative situation, turn it into positive. And that's what we're doing here, making it help.
Maria asked, she asked a question about, did you put that up on the screen there? Yeah. So
yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
She's asking if the mind has been warped to the max, the psychic abilities are alert in a way that you feel so much from everyone. How does anyone get any kind of grounding?
Well, you take on a lot of other people's feelings and energies. So you just have to clear it right away in your own mind. Bring in the source, light, scalar waves, imagine it. You have to use your imagination. So you're imagining that light coming in, wrapping yourself, wrapping them in it, and you're clearing it out. I'll do this, right? My hands are mirrors. I send it back, send the energy back. This is like magical work. It's almost like Harry Potter. You're sending the energy back. You're sending it. Sometimes I'll take the energy and I'll go and throw it in the trash can, throw it in the garbage, throw it to the earth, or go out and ground if you can. If you can't, get the sage. Sometimes I put salt in the front door of my barbershop. I'll put salt in the back door, and it works. It's a frequency, and frequency will, higher frequency just rids out the low frequency. It just transmutes it, and it diminishes it.
And
it's
also
like
gardening also does that too. Gardening is good
anything
for
you
grounding.
love, anything creative. Do what you love. Bring out your inner child. Go dance, go sing like no one's watching. Just if you are in your truest self, that's when all your blessings are going to come. So let go of the baggage and bring the blessings. And confidence is one of the biggest things. Like we all struggle with that because we've been told we aren't good enough or we can't do it because the TV has movie stars, all the false idols. Oh, they make all the money and they have everything, and I'll never have all that. Because as soon as you compare, now you just fell in frequency, because everything is frequency. Comparing yourself to someone else is a low frequency. You are special the way God made you. Find that part of you that is making you happy, that makes you shine. And if they judge you, then that's them. It's a reflection of them. The universe only knows you. Energy only knows you. So if you cast energy like to someone else, it's actually coming back at you like a boomerang, like a magnet. Your heart is a magnet. And you're electrical, so whatever you send out is coming back like a boomerang. That's what it is. We're like magical scientists here, and we're in a body, but it's all energy. Everything's energy.
And my mom had a rule when I was growing up, and we all thought it was really funny, but the rule was when you come to the door, anything that is like negative or weighing you down, you put it in a box, you close the lid, you walk through the door, and when you go to leave, if you want it, you can reclaim it, and if you don't, it can just melt away in the box. And it seems like, it sounds like this kooky, funny, being silly, but there were a lot of times like I would go over to my mom's house and I'd have a lot of pressure on my shoulders because I was thinking about a lot of things. And then when I dumped them into the box, so to speak, I was like walking around and I was like, man, I'm smiling. I'm
You
like
felt better. Yeah.
feeling like lighter and happier. And then when I would leave, it's like, I don't even remember what I came with. So I'm not even going to attempt to open the box.
Yeah.
So great.
That's good.
Grandmom, thank you. That's a wonderful scenario and an analogy. I would do that all the time. It's just like burning contracts. Like if you have
Sending
some
it to
type of
source.
relationship where you keep thinking about the past, you got to take that paper and burn it and throw it back up to God and let it go. And also thinking is actually stopping your positive flow, the flow of God, source, creative energy. You can't be creative and in the now moment if you're thinking about the past because you're pulling in any of that energy. You're creating now. So whatever you're thinking about is creating your future now. Everything is now. And even division stops your creative flow. It separates you from all that is, and you are part of all that is. All the answers already exist in the quantum. Once you are in your flow, the quantum's there. It's like electrical energy above you, and you're pulling it in. You're manifesting it because it's all possibilities or probabilities. And once you imagine it, you can pull it in, but you got to magnetize it. So you got to feel it. You got to act it. You got to think it. You got to do it. You got to live it. That is the science of magic. That's how we create new earth and bring the best future and manifest our reality through our mind. It's mind over matter.
And Patty, I'm getting the sense of from above, or as my twin would say, upstairs. You mentioned electric water and electric food. Can you explain that for people who may be trying to figure out what is she talking about? Electric? Is she plugging something in and energizing, or
light frequency is electric. It's electrical. It's light, scalar waves of light frequency, electrical waves, which is sound. It's all from the beginning, sound and light, and then it's electrical. So when you have a plant, the spark of God is a spark of energy. It's electrical. It's also magnetic. It's all there is electromagnetism and consciousness, and that is the science of Kelonic science. It's the study of light and sound, which is electrical. So when the electrical food, you eat that, your body responds, and it's also light. So the higher the frequency. So if it's a dense food like sugar, there's no electric in that. So it's going to lower your frequency. And then you're going to be like, oh, I feel like shit. And then you're going to manifest shitty situations, and you're going to have shitty people. Because until you love yourself and you have that high frequency, you'll manifest that, which is electrical and magnetic. Like feelings are magnetic because energy in motion is emotions. And that's really what is from the beginning, the sound and light primal fields manifested into the physical through, and then we actually give it meaning, and we're like, oh, well, you're a boy and you're this and you're that. But really, you're just a part of the infinite spark of creation. You're here to experience all that is and be a part of all that is, and not judge others, because then you'll fall into that label. Oh, she's a blonde, and I like that when they judge me. So I actually like when I act blonde, because then they just think I'm blonde, and then I'm like, well, then it's almost like manipulating their mind, and you can get what you want because you act stupid sometimes. It's all imagination. in your head.
Yes, and with, imagination, you could also say, intention. If
And
we're traveling and we don't have, let's say like Christy and I, we live in neighboring states in the South. We go up north. Food there completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Can
Yeah.
we sit there and go to a restaurant or go to a grocery store, buy whatever is there, and then go, okay, this food is not my normal food, but I am putting the intention that this food is electric and will be the same effect on me as the food at home, and then eat it and not get affected. Like, like you were saying, sugar bringing you down. Can you transmute it so that it doesn't bring you down and it raises you up?
Yeah, you can do that. That's the same as like prayer and setting an intention and also protecting the food. So, like the animals are also part of God. So, you want to thank them if you're going to eat them. I tend to talk to animals, so I don't want to eat the animal. And so you want to kind of say thank you for it, that also, because we do eat meat, and we do. I even had some seafood, so I just thank the seafood, and then I go and detox myself from mercury, and I do eat my cilantro, and I'm taking my zeal off, which is ashes, charcoal from volcanoes, and
Yeah.
even crystals. They hold frequency, and that has memory. Everything holds memory. So as happy as I am, and if I go and eat meat, all of a sudden I might get irritated and angry, and I just want to, so I took on that energy, because the kale on its way to the slaughterhouse knows it's going to be murdered. It's not stupid. And then it releases the chemicals too. Now you're eating all that energy. Now you're going to get irritated and angry, like you know, the and so I've seen that in not only myself, but in people too, get angry after eating meat, and they don't believe it. They're like, huh? I'm just angry because this went the wrong way. Well, that's because you manifested that. So through your
Right.
own, and it's lack of knowledge, your intention, and if you don't have an intention, then and you don't know what anything could happen.
Right. And one of the things too that I'm not sure if this is in alignment with your work, but I kind of laugh when I hear people say, I need to put my energy into healing Mother Earth, because Mother Earth has been around for eons. She takes care of herself really well, and I'll even say to people, did you notice in the lockdowns when Venice, the canals, they say were polluted beyond repair, and in the lockdown the canals clean themselves up? And so I'm
Yeah.
like, Mother Earth doesn't need us to do anything. She is quite capable on her own. But I'm like, and I don't know, is that me just, kind of being like,
Um,
I'm not in alignment with that, or is there,
No, you're
really
right,
some
because
truth to that?
it's just like the stargates. The stargates do what they're supposed to do, but these high frequency beings come in and they maintain it. They assist it. They're helping. So we're all helping the earth. We're helping clean up the pollution, so that Mother Earth can continue to thrive. We're not making her thrive or helping. She already thrives, but we're actually assisting. So that's what we're doing. Just like other people, everybody is a God being. They are already love, but we're assisting them because maybe their consciousness fell into a hating energy. Now they hate everything. So we're assisting them and saying, hey, don't hate, because then you're just going to attract more hate. You want to live in that vibrational frequency of love, so that you attract more love and more. And so, yeah, Mother Earth is all fine on herself, and she has her own spirit that is also God and doing what she has to do.
Right. And so I'm wondering if
Depends her
it's the
thoughts.
yeah, and so I'm wondering if it's the language. It's like something in the verbiage of how it's said just
Know
triggers
yourself.
me and
Yeah.
going, no.
Yeah. Mhm.
I like when I can move
Yeah.
the clouds. It's like, all right, clouds, open up, and out comes the sun. So, that's a
Yeah.
wonderful gift when you can have a connection to the earth, and especially the wind, because that's like vibration. It's like words almost. It's like, so I have a 432 wind chime right outside my window. So when I'm in the astral sleeping, I'll tell myself and wake myself up. So I'll have the wind, and which is me also. And then the wind chimes will start to move, and then I'll wake up back into my body, and I'll come, like, say I'm up on the Palladian ship, and then with my dog souls, they're also souls, and all of a sudden I feel all of us oscillate right back into my bed, and we wake up here. Here I am. So we're here and we're there and we're everywhere, and that's the magnificence of this body that we have, the mind that we have, and in God. And just, it's just a knowing. You have to know. You don't believe it. It's not oh, I have to see it to believe it, because then that's a lie. You have to know it, then it'll start to manifest for you.
And there's a question in the comments.
Well, the question is can she ask a question? So the answer is yes.
Mhm.
I will answer that one. And so I just want to clarify for people in the chat rooms, because there was a little bit of confusion earlier. Christy's channel is active as well as mine, and so there's 2 chat rooms going at the same time. So I can't respond directly to Christy's channel.
Mhm.
And just like the people on Christy's channel can't respond to people on my channel.
Oh, I see.
So
Yeah.
just be advised, we are seeing all the comments and all the questions, but if you're asking me a question on Christy's channel, I won't be able to respond, through the chat room. So I'm just clarifying that so
Mhm.
people
Yeah.
can ask
You
questions and not think, why isn't he answering me?
Yeah, just ask the question, then I'll see them too. Maria asked that. Did you post
And
that? Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, Maria's asking you, Christy, have you ever had any experience with Antarians? If
Uh-huh.
yes, can you say a bit about this?
That's what the mantis is the Antares. That's where they're from. A lot of them, but there's a lot of praying mantis and many, even Andromedan and probably everywhere, really, because people see them even in the abduction experiences on craft. But a lot of them see them as teachers too, in a more calm experience. So the Antares is it's in the Scorpio constellation. Antares is the heart of Scorpio, and I think it is like the Stargate. I know Jay might know something about that too with the Stargate thing, but they come in through there. They're usually non-physical praying mantis, and there's the one guy he I forget his name. He talks about the Antares, the praying mantis, and he's also been like with the he helps people that have been in the Satanic Ritual Abuse. Do you know who I'm talking about? He was a speaker at the conference. He has glasses. Um, and he talked about the praying mantis, the Antares, uh, and he does guided meditation and stuff now.
I
But he does readings on. But he talks how they are and everything. They help him. They're his guides as well. So I do think that Olympus, my guide here, is Antares. I think they're like the 12th dimension, 12th, but I'm not sure exactly
right,
because it's non-physical. So if 12th dimension is that non-physical?
I'm not
Yeah,
sure, and
yeah.
I know the mantis are, as the cultures go, and I use the culture just
Yeah,
to
doesn't.
describe as
Hmm.
beings, they're more the healers, so
Yeah,
they're not involved in a lot of the programming.
yeah, they are. They some of them are. If they're negative experiences, then they have them with those little grays. Some of them have done like cloning and stuff. So,
Right.
uh, but
And
most of them are the
and
higher.
Jay yeah, and Jay responded 13th dimension is a healing station.
Oh, okay. This guy Alondra Markman. Do you remember him from the conference? He
Um I
he
think he
he
was on the
has.
big stage, and so I
Hmm.
didn't really get to interact cuz I was running the small stage.
Yeah, he works with the Antares, the praying mantis. So they're real high frequency, and most of them are non-physical. And then they come into this reality. They can get a body and everything to assist.
And I've come across some of the mantis beings, and they like to call themselves the jovial mantis, and they have the purplish hue, and
Hmm.
sometimes they'll even call themselves the purple jovial
Mm.
mantis. And when we talk, it's like, yeah, we're going to this party, we're going to this celebration, and we're like, and they're like, this is what you need to do, to raise your energy, is, celebrate life, celebrate
Oh, that's
everything.
nice.
And the celebration raises energy. And so they're like, get up and dance, or get up and, laugh. And that raises your energy. And so I was asking them a question about something, and they said, and their answer was, you need to get up and dance. And they paused for a second. They go, this is too simple for you, isn't it? And I kind of laughed, and I was like, yeah, we tend to, as a species, overcomplicate things. And they go, yeah, you do.
Hmm.
And joke's on you, it is this easy. And so it was like, we just were having, a great conversation and everything. And Maria is saying, thank you for answering. And
Yeah,
she's
she asked
also
about
asking
owl
owl
people.
people.
A lot of people see the owls, and they're really the grays. A lot of people see them in the street or on the side of the road, like an owl all of a sudden. And a lot of abduction experiences happen when people will see the owl. So that's what I thought of first when you said owl people. But there probably are the bird beings that are owls as well. Like if you feel that they're a guardian, so they might be a guardian spirit, animal too, or you might even been an owl being before. So there's lots of things really. Hmm.
And correct me if I'm wrong, aren't the owl beings like cousin or kin to the avians?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of or carrion,
Yeah.
so there's avian or carrion. So yeah, they have all kinds of different forms of birds. Any probably kind of bird being is going to be that. It just probably is their frequency too, and what they're projecting. Like with that
Yeah.
abduction, how people see them in abduction experiences.
Which is interesting because they're always referred to as like the wise ones.
Oh yeah,
And but not messen that's what's interesting. They're referred to as wise but not messenger. The messenger
yeah.
seems to be the crows and the ravens, but
Mm-hmm. And the hawk.
right.
Yep. Yeah. Well, there's also like the elves that are like in seems like some sort of rituals at times too. Have you heard of that too? Like they dress up like with an owl
Yeah,
mask or some kind of thing, like that that movie with Tom Cruise, They had like a
yeah.
mask on that looked kind of like an owl as well. So,
And there was a Batman cartoon where he had to go against a Kabbalist society that was the Owl Society.
okay, yeah. Mhm.
And I kind of noticed there's a tree down a few houses from me, and when I drive past it, I'm like, they have owls, like metallic owls hanging in their tree. And it's like, at first, I'm like, oh, Owl Society, are you advertising? And then I'm like, they probably don't realize what they're putting up. And so I'm going to take it as they just like the owl image and they
Yeah.
don't realize what it's associated with. And,
Yeah, that
um,
place, the how
yeah.
what kinda it was a society place?
Well, the society of, the dark society
Mhm.
where the owl's the symbol. And so seeing the owl,
Yeah.
makes you
Even on
think
the
that,
money too. It's on the
yeah,
dollar bill, right? Mhm. Yep. Yeah.
yeah. And so, Patty, as we're talking about like, the laughter and, keeping the energy up and everything, I can't help notice that you seem to do that really well. And I'm actually now thinking, I think she's frozen.
Oh, yeah. She stayed quiet way too long. Hopefully, she'll come back on. Yeah, because it
Yes.
was like she didn't have a reaction to that. Yeah, she does,
Yeah.
I think her sound was messing up too, so she'll just have to rejoin on there. Hopefully, she can figure it out.
Yeah. But in the meantime,
Yeah.
I find it interesting and I'm kind of curious your thoughts of, like Patty saying, we need to do stuff and not think about it, just react and just do. And while doing that, I realized, like how you and I talk about how I just appear and help out and then I just disappear. And it's almost like, I'm there by someone calling me by thought, but I don't stop and think. I just arrive, react, determine what's going on. And
At
so
the
I'm
moment.
wondering, yeah. And so I'm wondering if
Mhm.
my, doing that, am I in that moment of that energy of, yeah, I'm not in thought, I'm in that pure energy
Mhm.
and
I
responding, or is it that I am responding, but and thinking, but the thinking is so much faster, it doesn't register.
I think you move with your intuition, and that would probably first, and then that just leads that probably always leads you in the right direction when you just do it in the moment instinctively and probably without even thinking of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wonder if, how is it that as much as I do it, it's like you're one of the only ones that actually sees it and picks up on it and like registers it. And so I'm kind of curious, what between us, is there a reason, or am I just looking for something to validate an experience?
What kind of like your daily life that you're just being guided like with decisions, or what is the direction? Like just going to the store, or what kind of feeling that you get?
Well, I just will be like sitting and then all of a sudden I'll be like, I don't hear anything, but it'll sound and I'll feel like, hey, I just heard my name, and before I even like finish that sentence, it's like I feel myself over there
Mm,
and then I'm
yeah.
back and it's like, what just happened? I don't know. And I often will comment too when people ask me, how does everything work? And I'll go, funny you say that because Christy, when I was on the show, was in the chat room and goes, look, Mike just did a 20 and back. And I
Yeah,
was
pretty good
like,
too.
what? And I
How
didn't
funny is
even
that?
realize that it had done
Good.
that.
Yeah,
Am
you
And
I
so,
didn't.
on?
Yeah, you're back. Good.
You're
Okay.
back.
This is my phone. I don't know what
Oh,
happened.
good. Yeah, good.
I blew up my laptop. Electrokinesis.
Oh no. Oh no. Well, yeah. I
Um,
mean, we could do 20 and backs just like that too. Like with Patty just take with their computer shutting off, in that
Yeah.
moment and then come back. Now she's back from a 20 and back, So, it could
Yeah.
be that fast without much time missing at all. So, there's Missy in the chat. Thank you all for coming tonight. Did
Yes,
you want to
and
talk
yeah.
about Chaco Canyon too before
um
Yay,
yeah.
woohoo.
yeah, but I wanted to say real quick something to Patty when she glitched out, and that was
Oh yeah.
we talk about, and all these entities talk about, being jovial and raise, it helps raise the vibration. And I think back to like watching you at the conference, and I- I'm like, yeah, Patty actually embodies that and is that. And so I don't know if you have ever been guided to do that or if you just are naturally
High
doing that.
frequency,
Yeah,
like high
Yeah.
naturally.
frequency.
Naturally, yeah.
She
Yeah.
doesn't it doesn't change or shift because she goes into her hotel room. It doesn't change, She stays in the high frequency. Yeah, so
Yeah, but
it's good to have someone like Patty around because then, when we're kind of feeling lower, then she helps bring up the energy too. She helps raise up the frequency, so it's good. Yeah.
well, and to me, it was nice because people always will ask me, "How are you so happy?"
Oh
Why,
yeah.
how can you be in this
Mhm.
scenario and still be happy? And
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, I just am.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of nice to see, in a way, her being the same way almost.
Yeah.
And so it
Yeah,
was
it
like,
is.
oh, cool. I'm not the only one that, is
Mhm.
like this. And
Yeah, because I've never seen you in a bad mood ever. Yeah.
Hey, I
yeah.
got thrown in jail once, and they're like, "Why are you smiling and bouncing off walls? Are you slow or something? What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I'm just happy. Who cares? We're gonna fix shit. Whatever." God takes a good thing and God takes a bad thing, a bad situation, and he turns it into good. I always see the cup half full. I always have that positive energy, the positive flow. It's just who I am, and I've always been this way.
Well,
So
and to finish your sentence that you started, Patty, God does take good things and make them even better.
yeah, yes, absolutely.
So it doesn't have to be a bad thing.
Yeah.
But
Right.
yeah, and so with the few minutes that we have left, yeah, let's, dive into Chaco Canyon because that's a location I went to when I was in
Oh,
my 20s. And
Mm,
I'm like, I could feel that there
20s.
was something going on there. But again, being in your 20s, you're like, yeah, am I just, feeling the connection to the land? Or,
Mhm.
you don't think,
When
oh, am I like stepping through portals and gates here? You just
so
don't think about that.
what did you find then after this all this time?
I feel like it was just like an activation of a past memory of, and it's kind of funny to say past memory because we just got done talking about how the past is the present. And so,
Other timeline.
yeah,
You
it's
said
another
right.
other timeline.
timeline. Yeah.
But there's a huge connection to the stars and to inner earth, I feel like, into other dimensions there because when you look at the land, you look around, it's like desert everywhere, and you're like, how could people live here?
Right.
How could they grow anything? This is arid land, but yet they thrived there. But then part of me is like, well, but maybe this location, these kivas and everything are just anchors to this reality, and they really lived in a different reality, and they came here to show us something and to help us learn something, and when finished left. And that's why
Hmm.
there's no civilizations there, but that's just my theory that I'm kind of like looking at now in the time of
That's good
now.
thinking, because the people really see them living there. You know, the Chaco Canyon where has they can computerize the structure and say that they live there. But there's also those places in Egypt like that that have been buried, and the other places around the world that have been buried when they look a lot the same, like the Chaco Canyon in the desert, like in Egypt and stuff too. So maybe
Right.
that's how were, you know, they're living how they lived a long time ago. N It must have been, you know, in the desert, and they made it.
And they learned how to tap into on this timeline and this dimension the ground is arid, but they could also figure out how to go, hey, there's this zone here where we're the same place, but look at all the lush greenery, and learn to bring the food in from that location to
Mm.
here. Because have you been there before?
Mm-mm. Nope. That'll be my
So
first time there.
when I was there, I remember I just am hearing now the tour guide saying the kiva was their way of walking down into like another realm. It was their
Okay.
spiritual way. And I'm thinking now in today's terms, going, could it be that they went down into another dimension and got what they needed and brought it back, and they had food aplenty, and that's why we don't see evidence of farming or any livestock, any, food source basically,
Yeah, how'd they get the
because
water and stuff, you know? Like, did
right.
they have water before? Yeah, like
That's just it. I don't think that they did, but I think they found a way to bring it from other things. And a thing about water is in our air, whether it's dry, arid air or not. I learned in my late 20s, early 30s a technique called rebreathing, to where I can go into a scenario and be like, hey, I'm out of water, but oh my God, I need some water.
mhm.
And I will just breathe in the air a certain way. And I'm
Oh,
like, oh, thank you, air, for, that
mm,
moisture that really helps. And I can even feel the water in the air when
yeah.
there is
Well,
no like rain or anything.
there in New Mexico, in Arizona, like, there's not a whole lot of moisture, right? It's not
Right.
much at all. And I was looking, you know how they do the looming, and they're out there looming out in the sun, and you don't see any water. Like, what are they drinking? Do they?
Mm.
I just thought that too. Like, they don't have any water there to drink, and they stay on that loom thing all day. And you
Yeah.
know,
I
in
guess
the
we'll
hot
find out,
sun.
right? When we go there, we can tune into it and find out what.
You know,
Yeah,
I'd
it's
almost
like
be curious if, like, the movie Dune. I don't know if you've ever seen that, where
mm-mm,
they're on the desert planet, but there are certain pockets of water, and so
mm,
maybe there's underground waters that they figured out. And yeah, Missy's
mm.
reminding you the movie with Tom Cruise was Eyes
Yeah,
Wide
that's what I
Shut.
shot. Mhm. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't see, like, in those old videos how they show with the Navajo people, you know, they're sheep herders, and then they go get water from some place, but they have to carry it back to the to the Hogan, the Navajo. But then the people who were the cliff dwellers, I mean, they had to climb up all the way in the cliffs right there, and like there was no staircase or anything. So I mean, how did the people get down to go get food and water and all that? How did the elderly? So I question that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think it's really cool that you guys are getting to go to Chaco Canyon, and it's interesting to me because, like, here's a scenario where you guys are going to check out the energy here and how it's a sacred spot,
Yep.
and I went to Cahokia like several times with my mom because we would be traveling to visit family, and it was on the route, and we just enjoyed stopping there and the energy there. And then finding out from the Journey to Truth guys, it's a major source of energy and some underground stuff there. And I'm like, wait, how are we there like 5 times and never figured this out? And it's like, it's almost comical how we go to places and then we learn what's there, and we're like, oh, now I got to go back because now I know what's over there now, and is it going to be different?
Yeah. Yeah, because you probably wasn't in a lower frequency when you went there, so you didn't have that negative experience. Yeah, just keep
Right.
yourself in a high frequency and thought form when you're at these sites, because it's ancient and there's all kinds of different energies all over. So if you walk in, that's why like the Navajo, they say like walk in beauty, so it just keeping positive thoughts, and because of the land and everything too. So
That brings me to, after my near-death experience, I was so high in frequency that I was witnessing everything all at once and hearing everything all at once. I've seen, because I live next to a railroad, so I saw this man walk through my house, a black man walk through my house. I was seeing shadow people all around, and it was like I was in the whole, everything was happening all around me all at once. I was everywhere. So it was something like that. It's probably you were too, because my frequency was when you like die, you go back up in frequency. You forget about you have to pay the bills and anger. You're like, whoa, I'm like happy as hell because you feel that love, that light within you, and you just see everything. I was seeing gnomes and tree people, and just it was crazy. So when we go there and you're in the highest frequency, then you'll be able to feel more and see more, and but protect yourself for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, and here's a thought for you too, Christy and Patty, while you're there. What if they are living there and they are existing in that spot, but they can go through a portal to a water planet or a water source and come back through the portal with the water.
Sure.
And there's another portal where they go to get their food source and bring it back. And that's how they exist in that land, because they've learned how to portal from point A to point B to get what they need and come back. And
Yeah, and there's also the ant people too. Maybe they showed them how to do those kinds of things. Maybe it's just a shift in, like opening up another door to another place, and then you go get it and then come back. So anything is possible, because and they're out there, and no one really is. It's not like a big city or anything, so there's lots of stuff that can happen.
yeah, and I asked the ant people on a channeling session, what happened to the Anasazi? Because some people say, oh, they became the Pueblos, and the Pueblos are like, we are not the Anasazi. They are like, no, don't call us that. And so I was like, so what did happen? And the ant people were like, well, some went to the stars and some came to join us down in inner earth. And that would be why there's no trace of them. And I
Right.
was like, it's interesting because we have these, certain cultures that just disappear,
Right.
and there's no trace of them, and when I say no trace, I'm meaning there's no like large amount of bones saying, oh, they were,
Nothing. Yeah.
attacked,
Mm-hmm.
or
No evidence
oh,
of any kind of
they went on a trail
struggle,
of
nothing.
tears.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if they
It's
want us to think like this and wonder and learn and figure it out? What if it's already planned this way? And that way, maybe you are right. They have the portal right there. They just go through it, and that where they come back out. Because I'm taking a trip to Mount Shasta, and I was reading the book Telos, and that's all about the Lyrans or the Lemurians and the
yeah,
ancient civilization underneath and all, and that's the
Right.
inner earth as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's a whole other civilization. Like, so I guess that'll be another experience, as if everything's all still happening at once and you're right in it.
Mhm.
Because it's another dimensional bandwidth, I guess, a higher frequency.
Yeah.
Right. And I would love to keep talking with you guys more about this, but I actually have an appointment in 15 minutes. And so,
Oh, well, I had so much fun, guys.
Yeah.
I did.
yes.
I'm
Thank
doing
you all
better.
in
I'm
the
sorry.
comments.
I have that fear, like, of getting him. As much as I'm bouncing all around, I have that fear of just speaking my truth and in front of people and getting in front of a crowd. But I'm trying. I'm mastering it, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, Patty, take solace in the fact that I am dealing with the same thing.
Yeah.
And I know it seems strange being a podcast host, but I am actually more comfortable in the background than up on screen. And so it is a
Yeah.
challenge for me
Mm-hmm.
to do these shows because it is totally not my nature to be front and center. I'm like, nope.
You're front and center.
Literally.
Yep. Sure. Yeah. Well, thank you all for being here tonight and
Yeah.
asking the
Thank you,
questions.
everyone.
Lots of good questions and interactions with us. And
Yes,
we appreciate
and
that.
I just want to say before we go, well, two things actually. One is make sure you go on to Amazon and check out Patty and Christy's books.
Yeah.
And just know it'll be a cold day probably before I catch up to Christy at her level of books. She is
Yeah.
just gone off.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're the best. She helps me
Yeah.
publish all mine. That's amazing work.
Yep.
She's a great
Yes.
artist, and she's really
Thank you.
good with the interdimensional worlds.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yep. I've been
And
doing it for a while.
Yeah.
And my son helped me a lot too with that journey as well, being an anchor for him, since he's out of his body most of the time. So I would get so many downloads from him. Yeah, and I noticed when he had gone to when he's at the group home now, I noticed that a lot of the frequency shifted back to myself, to my own star family, like the Lyrans and Sirian and Pleiadian and all that. So it slowed down a lot with the light language and everything. But yeah.
Well, you're remembering these, right? You're remembering the past life, well, the other lives that you exist with
Yeah.
them now, and you guys are
yeah.
doing a lot of work in those realms and stuff.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
new information, like with so it just shifted to newer, like, knowledge of my more information of other timelines for me, and deeper of more of it, like my memories of being like in the immersion program and stuff like that
Yeah.
too, is just kind of opening up more. And then I help people on here too, and they have a lot of the same experiences, so that's also expanding as well. So yeah.
yes, and you can find a link to Patty's books on Amazon in the description. And Christy, I decided to post your new website as the link in the description.
Okay.
So
Yeah, because I had the book there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Thank you.
do go
Thank
check
you for
out
having
their
us on.
stuff. Yes, and you haven't experienced this yet, Christy, but I have a new way of ending my shows, and it is something genuinely and authentically from me as a gift to you both. And that is from my heart and the heart of my shows to you. Thank you for what you're doing for humanity. Thank you for being your authentic selves and sharing your experiences and stepping up in this world. It is greatly appreciated. It is seen and felt. And know, both of you, I don't even know where this part is coming from, but I'm hearing it, so I'm saying it. Know you are supported.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
here's your books as well.
Yes,
Michael.
thank you.
Yeah. And thank you for hosting and having us on and
that's
having our
awesome.
voices heard and
Yeah,
spreading
thank
the
you. I
word,
appreciate you.
the electrical information, the knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're all three
Yes.
kind of the same in that way, with the
I
teaching and
love this
spreading our
one.
information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm reading this one now. So thank you, Michael.
Yes, and we will definitely, hopefully, have you both back on again. Anytime you want to come on, just let me know and we'll work on making it happen. And with that, I'm going to say good night and blessings to you both and blessings
the
on your
audience, too.
journey
Bye, y'all.
to
Thank
Chaco Canyon
you.
and all your endeavors. So thank you and good journey to both
Yeah,
of you.
bringing in the codes, anchoring the light. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.